My guest for the morning is Patrick Yabuama. He's a member of parliament for Blekuma, Okankwe Central, and he's been joined by Alhaji Bature. He's a managing editor for the Alhaj, and comments on a number of issues of national importance as well. And thanks for joining me, the two of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have to start with the subject of 7 of the High Court judges, or 7 of the Superior Court judges, so to speak, who have been suspended, and they were implicated in the judicial corruption scandal. And as a result of that, well, the president, who has the vice president acting in his absence, has effected the suspension. The Chief Justice had earlier suspended the magistrates who were also allegedly caught on camera by Anas Arimeyaw Anas in his Tiger PI team's investigation piece. And that also said that the judges were receiving bribes to influence certain cases. Patrick, what do you make of it in the first place? This very suspension, you saw it coming?
Yes, thank you very much, and good morning to your cherished viewers. The Chief Justice has complied with the Constitution of Ghana. Herself and the panel has established a prima facie case against the 7 justices of the High Court. I think, having gone through the process, I think the Constitution also sets out what must be done. They have to go through due process in order to establish the truth or otherwise of the investigations Anas did. I think there are other issues with regards to Justice Derry, who is in court, Justice Quest, who is not well. Then one other judge whose name was Abat has been exonerated because he was not at post at the time. I think the Tiger Eye team has written to the Chief Justice to that effect. I think for now we should let the law take its course. Due process has to be followed. The affected judges have to be given the right to every legal avenue under the Constitution of this country to explain themselves, to also punch holes into the investigations Anas did, and for a court of competent jurisdiction or any other panel under the Constitution of this country to either convict them or set them free. So that's my preliminary comment on this issue.
It's as if that now the processes have been ongoing, and ultimately we've gotten to this very stage. It may even go to the latter, don't you think, Alaj?
Thank you very much. Good morning to your viewers.
Morning.
I think that it's quite refreshing that the turbulence that hit the judiciary some weeks back is beginning to settle, and some of us are really happy that we are allowing the rule of law to prevail. Because when this matter broke out, very unfortunately, despite the fact that we have embraced democracy over the last 23 years, comments that were coming from Ghanaians, some of them high-placed Ghanaians and influential people in the country, was very, very sad and very, very unfortunate. We allowed our emotion to take the better part of us. And because the cardinal principle of the rule of law, for example, is that a person is not guilty until proven guilty. But it looks like the general populace has virtually judged these people. And what was surprising was...
You mean the judges found in the video?
The judges who were found in this video. You know, and you hear people of high place, including Peace Council officials and so on, church officials, even high caliber politicians making comments virtually
almost prejudicial.
Prejudicial. And I thought that was worrying. It was worrying because the judiciary is the last point for all of us. Forget about that, it is a judge. It's not all Ghanaian judges that were alleged to be involved. And even those who were alleged or who were cited, we haven't gotten to the bottom of the matter yet. For all we know, we are in a technological age this time. People can do all kinds of things with machines. So I thought that we should have allowed calm to prevail, so that we go through the due processes. The people should get the fair hearing. When they are eventually found guilty, then we could pass comment. But immediately these things happened, and it was very unfortunate. Much as we all lauded the work of the ace investigative journalist Anas Armia, I thought that premiering of the movie was not the best. In fact, if you are not very careful, premiering the video can affect the course of the trial. Because fair trial is very, very important in democracy. It's just not about the person committing the crime, but also giving the person a fair hearing, a fair trial. And would we say there's going to be a fair trial here? You know, all these matters are coming into play. I thought that, in fact, it would have even helped the matter if the Tiger PI team had kept the video, allowed the people to even come and tell their sides of the story, because by then they had not yet seen the video, so that they might even be contradicting themselves when eventually the video is shown to them. And it will be easier for the investigative officers to assess their evidence, you know. But unfortunately, we did this, and the whole country went on the frenzy. We were attacking every judge and so on. But thank God now, reasoning is prevailing, and we are all allowing the due process to take place. This is how it ought to be. Now, after the suspension, what next? The Constitution, like Boama was saying, has outlined what must be done. If the people have to go on trial, then they have to go on trial. And then it is only after the trial, if they are found culpable and guilty, then we can say that they were really involved in this. But I thought that the hasty generalization or attack on the judges.
I don't know whether you have to blame the media, but at the end of the day, it seems that the processes are being followed. What should we be expecting? Would we be expecting a speedy panning out of this whole issue, where the processes would perhaps ultimately culminate within a certain period, or it could drag because it's a matter of people's human rights and what fundamentally the Constitution says they are due?
Rightly said, you are dealing with people's personal liberties. And when it comes to that, you don't say that, oh, I want to try this matter with the speed of light. People's reputations, people's families, people's entire life and career are at stake. So I'll say again, the law and the processes through which one must go must be followed. The person's right of appeal, the person's interlocutory appeals, whatever process, legal process that is set out under the rules of court, under the Courts Act, under the Constitution, under any convention or principle of law, that person whom a prima facie case has been established against has the right to explore, and he must be given that opportunity. So I don't think people must expect that, oh, once a prima facie case has been established, then 2 weeks, 1 week, 6 months, the person has to be convicted or exonerated. We've gone through this before, not necessarily with
the current dispensation.
Yes, but when you go through what happened with the Shraj issue and what have you, people went through the Supreme Court and were freed. So I don't want to make any prejudicial statement as a lawyer. The panel, the president, the acting president, vice president, Mr. Atta, has issued a statement confirming what the Judicial Council brought to him in his capacity as acting president. That is what is set out under the Constitution. For now, I'm unable to comment on it, because if I'm going to say certain things, it will go a long way to affect a fair trial, which I wouldn't want to sit here and do.
All right, let's move on to a subject that seemed to have caught the of many who would do an analysis of the economy. It's a subject of us going for another Euro bond that was supposed to be in the region of some 1.5 billion. And well, we see now would not be in a position to go for that very Euro bond because of certain issues that have been raised. Now, particularly, we're told that it depends on where you're reading and who you're reading. They tell you at the end of the day is also because there's no investor interest, and they feel that the rate we're giving is too low. They want in the region of 11%, I believe, and we're giving around 9.5. So it depends on who you're listening to. I have to start with you first, Patrick. What do you make of it? The Euro bond, it was supposed to have been, well, the financial package that is also going to show up the cedi, so to speak, against the major international currencies.
Thank you again. I think the government must come clear on this issue. It's not about the investors wanting a certain interest rate. Let me give you the background. In 2007, President Kufuor's MPP went to the market for the first time. NDC came into power and has made the Euro bond a program, which is a very dangerous thing to do because it sends a certain signal to the market about the weakness of your economy. We are back in the market for about $1.5 billion because of poor management, fiscal and monetary issues affecting this country, to the extent that we've gone back for an IMF program. Government goes back to the market to raise $1.5 billion. Please, I want your viewers to listen carefully. The World Bank promised or gave a guarantee for $400 million out of the $1.5 billion that government was going to raise. Let me put it on record again, that the credit rating of Ghana is BB minus, which is a junk rating. It's not an investment grade for which any serious person in the market will respect. Because of that, the markets did not respond. The markets did not respond because of lack of confidence in the economy of Ghana, because of poor management or mismanagement of the economy. So the interest rate that they proposed to enable government raised the 1.5 billion was between 11% to 12%. Let me put it in that range. If government goes for this 1.5 billion with this interest rate, the repercussions are dire. The economy will suffer, will not be able to pay back, and it's going to have a damning effect on the economy. So government quickly had to suspend it. Okay? What I know is that government wants to reduce the 1.5 billion to 1 billion. Okay? So that they also have a haircut in terms of how they are going to, the country is going to suffer with regards to interest rates. Another dangerous thing will be that there will be the public perception will lead to a rise in a weakening of the cedi against the dollar, because you've gone to the market, you are unable to raise your 1.5 billion. You've come back. I'm telling you the thinking or what government is thinking of doing, that let's reduce the 1.5 billion which Parliament approved to 1 billion to enable us have a cushion because of the interest rate or the rates that government was going to suffer in terms of interest.
If we had gone for 1.5.
1.5. So it's something that they are toying with, and I don't think we are in good times, because the 1.5 billion was expected to come in to shore up the cedi against the major international trading currencies.
Especially the US dollar.
The US dollar. So we have a gap now, and the markets did not respond. what is going to be the effect? The effect will be on the currency, which has been hardly hit by some of these government policies and mismanagement, and its effect on business people and the business environment. So government has come up quickly and immediately with solutions, because we are entering into a dangerous period in the business cycle of our country. We are approaching Christmas. Importers, exporters, business people have got to plan. Companies have got to plan. So you're saying that
government is a bit worried about
Government has not been fair with the truth. Government has not said anything about the World Bank guarantee. I'm telling you. They got a guarantee of 400 million. Now, you want to go and reduce to 1 billion. Are you coming back to Parliament? And at what time? Because it was Parliament that gave you the power to go to the markets to raise 1.5. So if you want to reduce, what time frame do you have? The perception within the global economic market. So we are in a difficult situation, and I think government has got to act quickly and swiftly, because it's affecting business confidence, the perception out there, and most importantly, it's the inability to raise the 1.5 billion is going to affect our forex reserve.
Your point has been made. All that he's raising, and for example, the last 12 hours before I slept, I was reading a bit about it as well. And if you look at the analysis of the neutrals, and even those who tend to observe how the economy is moving, they get to tell you, if we don't have this in time, we could ultimately suffer because of the adjustments we need to make, etc. What he's raising and all that is being raising, is it more speculative, or really that's the truth?
I think that nobody can deny the fact that suspension of the Eurobond would definitely have some consequences for the national economy, because it has been planned to be part of the solutions. But you see, when we are discussing these kind of issues on these platforms like this, I'm always worried. I'm worried about the behavior of my friends on the minority side. It looks like when issues like this come up, instead of us as a people, as a nation, coming together to look at the solutions, because they have already happened. Whether we like it or not, it has happened. For example, it is a fact that it has been suspended. It is also a fact that it will definitely have some ramifications on all of us, on our economy. Are we celebrating that Ghana has missed out on the Eurobond to the extent that we start accusing fingers at the government that poor economic management has brought us this far? Is that a fact? I thought that we should grow up as a nation 23 years after we return to the constitutional rule. Some of these issues, we shouldn't play politics with it. He knows it, that it's not about poor management of the economy. And if it is about poor management of the economy, it didn't start with this government. Economies, like every endeavor in life, whether you are building a house,
you have your ups and downs.
No, you have your foundation. And if your foundation is wrong, your conclusion can never be right.
Well, we do get that, but at the end of the day, you see that if you look at the economic management of the country and the way financially we have behaved in terms of the management, we are at a point in time where the times are not good. The Bank of Ghana just pegged the rates for which people can borrow from the market at 25% being the minimum. The banks, you go now hover, even the commercial banks, hover their interest rate above 30%. At the end of the day, government has also encroached on the domestic market, and so crowding out of the businesses that would have performed adequately. Energy is affecting a lot more of the businesses. They've cut down on jobs because they want to make sure their overheads are not increasing. So ultimately, it's about how the economy is managed and how also that can whet investors' appetite to be interested and say, well, this is the rate that you are giving us and we're willing to take it. But right now, it's as if the interest is low as far as the outside or the outbound community in our country as far as investment is concerned.
That is why I'm I'm trying to draw your attention and his attention to the fact that managing an economy is not just an event. You understand? For you to just jump that a government that has been in power for 6-7 years has woefully failed to manage the economy. Let us look at the genesis. I admit that there may be some fiscal indisciplines, like that's what you are trying to point by any government or by this government in particular. But what brought about those fiscal indisciplines?
2012.
You see, he's just started for 2012.
Is that what he said?
Yes, he said.
Well, in 2012 we had huge budget overruns.
Huge budget overruns. You know, that's the fact. But what he's not telling us, or what he's refusing to admit, is that our economic problems or challenges began with when they redenominated.
Back in 2007.
Back in 2007. That is where this country failed, or this country's economic problem started. Because we were having an economy that was largely import dependent.
And we still do have.
We still do have.
Only improving currently.
And then an economy that saw the cedi dipping down every day.
So we decided to redenominate.
Instead of tackling the causes of those defects, we took the lazy man's option. We took the lazy man's option of redenominating our currency. So what did we do? We went to knock off 4-0 from the currency to see that our currency is now even mightier than the almighty American dollar, which was a false. Which was total false.
So we gave ourselves false hopes.
It was a false beginning.
Okay,
false
fast forward
start.
to the present. Fast forward to the present.
So the repercussion of that false decision is what we are witnessing till now. Of course, you cannot also isolate some of the indiscipline that was occasioned within the period. But I'm saying that when you trace it, because what happens is that the Ghanaian economy, nothing fundamentally changed to show that the Ghanaian currency can match or even at best be higher than the dollar. So we were deluding ourselves.
Okay.
You know,
I do understand your point. You're crying over spilled milk.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
no,
that's what you're doing. At the end of the day,
I'm not doing that.
At the end of the day, I know you're pointing to us. You're trying to explain the fundamentals.
Let me just give an example. It's
Please
like
do.
a building. This building was constructed by somebody, and you people are here. Now, if there's any structural defect today,
is that what you're noticing with the building, or is that an example?
I'm giving an example. Everybody will blame you, but the one who started the foundation that caused the defect, because mostly defects or cracks begin from the foundation. So if you try to ignore that, you are only not being.
And now the government is saddled with this and has to improve on the foundation.
So
at the same time, trying to build.
What I'm saying is, yes, that is where we all must come together. That the nation has found itself into this.
And you are saying the argument should always be devoid of politics.
See, that's
the bane of your argument.
Because if we want to apportion blames, we can apportion blame to everybody.
Okay, great.
And that's one example I was showing.
Patrick.
They did the redenomination with the best of intentions. But I'm telling you, it was not feasible, it was not appropriate. Because you only do redenomination when you have productivity to back it.
I like where you have taken this issue is... Now,
you're not getting the point.
No, I've gotten fantastic. I've gotten your point.
Because
you're addressing the genesis of
your import was higher than your export.
Yeah, and it's still
higher.
Only that we're improving.
So why did we deceive ourselves? So I'm saying that is where we trip as a nation.
Yes.
So right now, successive governments are struggling to bring us on back. The fact that we are struggling.
That's okay.
Allow me just a minute to make my point.
He wants a minute to make
let me line. If not, I won't make sense. The fact that we are going through these challenges doesn't also mean that there has not been improvement. I'm telling you, there has been tremendous improvement in the management of the economy. We may not feel it now because we are part of the creators of those challenges. But the most important thing is to lay a solid foundation. And for me, where I sit, I can see this country in the next 4 years coming out of all this back and forth because the government has there is a revolution going on in the economy.
Are you saying government should be given additional 4 years?
I'm not saying so.
That's not what you're saying.
I'm saying that this particular government, the Bahama government, has embarked on a silent revolution in the management of the economy. But many Ghanaians haven't noticed it. For example.
How do you know that?
But I'm going.
Anyway, you're taking I was supposed to give you a minute. You can say that in your next. But at the end of the day, he has said something that is fundamental. The point is that the structure of the economy has not been in a way that will be conducive enough for us to say that, well, we're very much export dependent or making enough from our exports. We've reduced our balance of trade or our trade deficit, so to speak. And as a result of that, we have enough in our reserves. And we're reducing our actions not to borrow a lot more from the external agencies, so to speak. But the truth is the truth. This means that government has to cut expenditure, and austerity is going to be a lot more. Is that not it?
I
mean, whether we're going for 1 billion or not.
I share Alaji's plight, and I can understand.
You share his plight?
Yes.
He's not asking for pity. I don't think that's what he's asking.
I can understand Alaji. He's a nationalist. He speaks with so much passion and emotion. But the facts are facts. NDC has been in government for the past 6-7 years. If you are talking about the fundamentals of the economy, it means they have the opportunity to change the fundamentals. Have they been able to do it? Companies, you just said that Bank of Ghana has increased their threshold to 25%.
It's already 25.
Yes. Companies are going to borrow over 25%. Let's say 27, 28%. Alaji is a businessman. If you want a dollar loan, it means you are going to borrow at 15% plus. So most companies have turned outside of this country to borrow at between 2 to 5%. How are they going to inject this money into the economy, to expand the economy, to increase their exports, to create the necessary business environment for job creation?
Some have started, isn't it? At least those efforts to make sure that we reduce our dependency
the economy under the NDC
rice imports
for the past 6 years had been rightly managed, we wouldn't be borrowing at 30%.
But he's saying that the genesis of the problems we have now...
I'll come back to that. We wouldn't be borrowing at 30% and 15% on dollar.
If you had used the 750 euro bond you brought to inject into the economy, today we won't be here.
Alaji says we shouldn't play politics.
Yes, that's a fact.
But
you went and took 750 million.
Alaji, I'm on the floor, if you allow me.
Okay.
2007, what the MPP left for the NDC government out of the Eurobond, they used it in their budget. It is clear and it's in black and white.
No, Patrick, we know that.
But we
also know partly what the Eurobond was also used for.
Why didn't you correct him then? Because
what is he going to correct?
That what the MPP got out of the Eurobond and left for the NDC, you used it.
What?
And two, please, if I may finish. And two, this politics of, oh, you knocked off 4 zeros. At the time the MPP was leaving office in 2008 to early 2009, the records are there. The cedi to the dollar was not more than 1 to 1.2. What has changed? It is now 4 Ghana cedis to the dollar. Hasn't the NDC gotten all the years and the opportunity to fix the economy?
How?
They have the opportunity.
Running away from the real issue.
We did not even have oil.
Let's check.
Please, Alaji, with all due respect.
No, I want to correct you.
Let me finish.
I want to
when I finish,
Alaji, in your submission,
when I
then you
finish,
make
you can correct me. Because I'm making...
Please note it down.
Alaji, you can have the pen and note it down. When I finish, you can
I want to show you an example.
Oh, get it.
One day, at the time of
Alaji, you've said that about the redenomination.
Alaji,
no.
Facts are facts. When we're leaving office, cedi to the dollar was 1 to 2.
So now you're blaming government.
Let me finish.
Is that what you're doing?
Well, let me finish my point. The viewers will make their point. 2, we left so much for government. 3, the economy was managed so well without oil. A $3 billion economy to an $18 billion economy in 8 years without oil. What are we seeing with a government that has gotten oil plus what was left for it? Debt stock of over 90 billion Ghana cedis. we go to the market and the market is unable to respond. Isn't it a shame that after 7 years we still go back to the IMF for a program, for the World Bank to come back to guarantee a Eurobond of 1.5 billion? It's a shame. We are going to have a serious effect, and I'm saying that government has got to react quickly to cushion the business people.
So what do we need to do?
One, government has got to bring back the confidence that Ghanaian business people desire in the business by introducing good measures to cushion them.
What government is already doing, you're not satisfied with?
It's not enough. People's profits have been wiped off. People are paying so much for power. Yet government says they are going to increase salaries by 10% in
as far as I know,
2016.
I know the government has made the effort. The badge is supposed to come in.
When government has not been able to give the policies that those companies require. That is why the badges are not coming.
All right. I like it. So now it means that we have to make sure that we embark on prudent expenditure measures. We know that next year is going to be an election year. No matter what we think, we're going to spend. And especially when we don't tend to do the expenditure or the expenses right. We tend to spend a lot more on social infrastructural projects and not those that immediately in the medium to long term will bring us returns.
Certainly, government is not throwing its hands in the air in despair. Government is aware of the possibility that maybe some of these programs may not go through. So, of course, it will be a challenge. But even before I come here, I just want to make a very important point.
I hope you're not going back to the redenomination.
Just within a minute. At the time that we were redenominating, in July 1st, 2007,
I remember.
The cedi to dollar was 92 pesos to the US dollar. That is what we claim. By 31st December 2008, when the MPP was leaving office, 18 months after, the cedi slide to 1 cedi 25 pesos, almost close to 30% depreciation. So that's why I want to tell you where we are coming from. And it has since continued to depreciate because that was not the real value of our currency. Your currency will be strong when you have export to back it. When your export is more than your import.
But his argument is that the NDC-led administration has had...
They are fixing it. But you see, that's what I'm saying, that at that time, if you remember, Nana Akufo-Addo...
So you're saying if they had started? You're saying if they had started?
Let me tell you something. Nana Akufo-Addo in 2000 made a statement that he needs 10 years to refocus, to redirect the economy from the Koji's kind of economy. So Nana was right. Some of us believed in what he said at that time.
You did?
Yes, we believe it. So NDC is only 6-7 years now.
Thank God.
By the 10 years, by the time this country will be 10 years, and the
that's
NDC,
why I asked you. You want NDC to be in power for 10 years. You're not telling me.
I'm not going to.
But that's what you're saying. You're saying Nana Addo said 10 years, and so NDC should be given 10 years.
In the next 10 years, he's going to change the face of the Ghanaian economy. And I say, you see, Nana even recognize that you cannot use 4 years, 5 years to change the face of the economy. And I'm saying there has been a silent revolution as far as the economy of this country is going. For example, for the first time, Ghana government has virtually removed every subsidy in all spheres of our national economy without any hiccup or any wild demonstration.
We were occasioned to do so. The IMF. The IMF is saying...
I use the word virtually, so please listen to me carefully.
The IMF is saying that...
We started that long with the homegrown policy before the IMF came in. Please don't just distort the facts. We started this before the IMF came in. Government has also introduced one of the largest reforms in the taxes, in the duties that we pay, without a hitch from Ghanaians. And I think this is very important, to the extent that now we are running our own economy, unlike before, whereby our budget is being substituted by over half, 50%
because we have no alternative. We're not liquid enough.
So you see,
worthiness is suspect. As a result, we can't just go and borrow because already we've borrowed more than enough.
It's not about credit worthiness.
Okay.
Why, if our economy has been so badly managed, why were they continuing to borrow us the money.
All right. Now, Patrick, we know that in relation to this. No, we know that in relation. No, we know that
our credit rating.
We know that in relation to this, your presidential candidate Nana Akufo-Addo, in his Rise and Build tour, has been going round, and just yesterday making all these assumptions that government is
assumptions.
Well, that's the word I'm using.
Oh,
if you have any other synonym, you can use it, or any other. At the end of the day, making all these assumptions, saying government is not managing the economy well, and that if he's giving the mandate, this is what he's going to do, especially focusing on agriculture and saying that a lot more incentives are not being given to cocoa farmers especially, and for those that tend to do the other production as far as agriculture is concerned. Again, lip service and politics. Is that it?
That's wrong. Totally wrong. Thank you very much. Nana Akufo-Addo is not making any assumptions. He's speaking from the figures available to every Ghanaian, speaking with figures that are released by the central bank, by the governor who chairs the MPC, who was appointed by President Mahama and the NDC government. Is it not a fact that our total debt stock is over 90 billion? Is it not a fact? Is it not a fact that Ghana is a BB minus rating, that our investment, our grade is not investment friendly? Is it not a fact that the market could not respond to the Euro bond that we're seeking to raise 1.5 billion? Is it not a fact that our budget deficit is over 12% of GDP? Is it not a fact that there are strikes, there are economic tensions, we have issues at the port, we have issues with business environment, we have issues with people in the service industry, the hotels are happen to be buying fuel to run five-star hotels. Is it not a point that people are closing down their business and relocating in Cote d'Ivoire and other business-friendly countries around us? Is it not a fact? This is what Nana Akufo-Addo is selling to the good people of Ghana, that look, MPP inherited a weak economy in 2001 and was able to turn it around. And that, given the opportunity, he has the team and the men to do the same thing. It has happened before. We believe in a liberal economy, but we are a party that introduced the best social programs in this country. Ask yourself, how many social programs has the NDC government introduced? So if Nana Akufo-Addo goes around and says that this is my 4-point agenda for the good people of this country when I'm giving the mandate come January 2017, he has good cause to say that, because he still has a good team around him to turn things around, and I believe he's going to do exactly that. Yesterday he was in Sunyani, in Brekum, he will be in Kumasi and in the Greater Accra to end his Rise and Build tour. And I believe he's kicked in his campaign, and we believe that with God on his side, he's going to be victorious.
It's almost as if government has given ammunition to the opposition, and it's especially its leader, flag bearer Nana Akufo-Addo, to say the things that he said. For example, he mentioned National Health Insurance Scheme. He feels that it's not being managed adequately. And even he says the educational sector, for all the things that the Mahama-led administration says it is doing, will do, it's not in the best interest of Ghanaians.
That is why when you use the word assumption, I agree with you totally. And he ended up vindicating why you use those points. Because they are assumptions. They are assumptions. He's not in power. Now, I believe that one of the reasons why he's saying so is based on what the Mahama-Mills administration has so far laid, and I was just giving you an example, that in the next 2-3 years, the economy, people are going to see a different Ghanaian economy.
You are even saying 4 years.
Exactly.
2, 3, 4.
When NDC the opposition.
President that wins the 2016 election will take over in 2017, and I can tell we will begin to see some stability, because based on the kind of foundation that has been re-engineered for the economy of this country.
By the Mahama-led administration.
By the Mahama. And so Nana knew it, because if the economy is so downturned, so distressed, how can Nana use 4 years to turn things around? That is impossible. So he knows it. That, for example, right now we're having the second gas FPSO coming. to increase our gas. And we all know that one of the major problems we are facing as far as energy is concerned is the fueling. So we are now going to have cheap, reliable fuel. So it means Zoomson and whatever he was talking about, making people to relocate, will end. So Nana knows
you
about
mean
this.
Reduce?
Will end. It's not about reduction. Our capacity, already we have a capacity to generate. It is the fuel to power that has been our bane. And most of the debt that we've been complaining on went into the fueling of this generator by them. Mahama said, no, I want to fix it. I don't want to just manage it. Because he said we were buying crude for VRA to power.
But logically, you do understand that as a flag bearer of the biggest opposition party, a party that has been in government under the Fourth Republic, he has no option than to punch holes in the way the Mahama-led administration is managing our country.
Unfortunately, the holes is punching. Ghanaians don't see it. The Ghanaians don't see it.
How
because
do you assess that?
When he says that the health insurance is collapsing, that is totally false. When you go to every health insurance today, 4 a.m., people are queuing. Why would people go and queue for an enterprise that is collapsing?
They pay.
Why are people queuing? I mean, you are in the news, you have been reporting it, your station here has been going to cover. As early as 1 a.m., people put stones to police.
Perhaps so he's talking about the areas that are old service providers.
Secondly, I'm telling you that I'm not denying that there are challenges. I will not sit here and pretend. But you have to look at the gains and then the challenges. For the first time in the history of Ghana, apart from Kwame Nkrumah, no government has invested in the healthcare services as the Mills Mahama administration. Over $1.5 billion has been pumped. The cheap compounds, new hospitals. We are building, the government of Mahama is building 2 new teaching hospitals, polyclinics, regional hospitals. We are seeing this. These are not just for today's consumption. They are things that you are laying. That's why I told you about the foundation. You understand me? Look at the number of health institutions that this government is putting. Now he talks about education. Look at what the government is doing in the education sector. So when you contrast this with what they told Ghanaians in 2000 before they were given the mandate. For example, when he talked about unemployment. When they were coming, they told us that they were going to, their first immediate thing was to employ 1 million Ghanaians, give them job.
Is this an Okujeto statement?
Have you forgotten in your own...
Where?
Manifesto?
Where?
Your own manifesto.
Where is it?
You are asking me where is it? Ghanaians,
a lot of millions of Ghanaians are listening to us.
You made people to go and queue. Not even one person was given a job to do. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm saying that yes, even the United States of America, even Japan, even the China with all its surpluses, they still have challenges. And human being or human institution, as long as we live, we will continue to have challenges. The most important thing is the government making attempt to resolve the problem. I think that is where the emphasis must be. That is where the emphasis, and that is why Akufo-Addo thinks that with what has been laid down for him when he comes to power, in 2017, in the unlikely
now,
event,
Patrick, at the end of the day, he's saying that your flag bearer, even if he happens to win, will be riding on the achievements and the efforts of the Mahama-led administration, and really poo-pooing, so to speak, in quotes, all the things that he's mentioning about collapsing national health insurance scheme, poor management of the agricultural sector, and even prices as far as what the payments are to cocoa farmers, etc.
That is totally false. Akufo-Addo is coming with a different program, and he's going to manage the economy so well based on the record that he's going to inherit, because it's not going to say that, oh, when I came in it was so bad and I'm going to throw my hands in despair. No, he's going to build a solid economic team
in 4 years,
assess the economy, and I believe within 4 years we'll be able to turn this country around. It's happened in many countries. President Ouattara in Cote d'Ivoire is ending his first term. Elections are, I believe, in October 15th, thereabout, or 25th. Go to Cote d'Ivoire. Look at how the Ivorian economy is doing. And I believe once you have a good team and a good program, you don't need
and good backers.
20 years
Good backers.
Yes, good backers
Like
with
France.
good brain, with good brain, support, and selflessness. I believe you can be able to turn things around, and I believe in his vision, and he's going to do as he says. Alaji hasn't said anything about the Hajj. I'm surprised.
It means that President Mahama is going to have a hurdle.
He has no hurdle.
Going to convince Ghanaians that he has to
Mahama has
retain.
no hurdle if Akufo-Addo is the candidate of the opposition. When he is saying Nana Akufo-Addo assured supporters of the party that steps are being taken to solve the wrangling in the party. Has he done that?
And you mean internal
wrangling in today?
But that should not be an issue for Ghanaians.
Alaji, are you saying the NDC does not have internal problems?
It is an issue for Ghanaians because
why should it be?
Ghanaians will only entrust the destiny of this nation to a leader that has demonstrated.
You are saying that, or
that is what Ghanaians do. It's not about economy.
Alaji,
it's not just about economy. It's also about a leader who has demonstrated enough capability to unite his group and thereby unite the country. Kufuor Rawlings was handed over this country. He handed over peaceful to Kufuor. Kufuor handed it over peaceful to Atani.
Mahama handed peacefully to
Akufo-Addo. Has he demonstrated he can handle this country peacefully? No, because as I speak with you today is a do and die for their party, and I can predict on your program, and then mark my word. That from today, MPP will never be the same again. From this day.
Why do they have a meeting today?
They have all their chairman to the disciplinary committee today.
Oh no, it's not correct.
It's not correct.
It's not correct.
And I'm telling you,
it's not correct.
It's not
I
correct.
am telling him.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
It's not
so
correct.
today, whichever way it goes, the party is doomed. If you sack Afoko, you are doomed.
So if it doesn't happen, will you not come to this studio again?
If you disgrace your council of elders, you are doomed. And that is all the making of Akufo-Addo. He has not demonstrated leadership. They should concentrate on that. That's my advice for them.
So you're saying they should resolve the internal issues, he should make sure he spearheads.
He cannot do it. He cannot do it.
So if it doesn't happen, you come to the studio again.
Make a promise again.
He said Akufo-Addo assured supporters of the party that steps are being taken to solve wrangling in the party. You go and say this yesterday, and today you're holding your chairman before this one committee. What a humiliation.
It's not correct.
What a humiliation.
Patrick Boama says it's not correct.
Let's see. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see.
NDC primary is on the 7th of November. And look at the issues coming out.
All right.
So let's see. Every party has issues.
Is a member of parliament for Okaikwe Central, and he was joined in the studio to help us do the discussion by Alhaji Bature, and he is the managing editor for the Alhaji newspaper. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll take it.